Hi, fellow traders. Well, it was base hit day today. Actually, I look for a base hit every day because I know if I get on base, I've got a good chance of scoring. And I get that first move, I make it to first base. There's a real good opportunity I can get around those bases. But worst case scenario, I've made a couple of bucks off of a base hit. So I don't know if you've seen that movie or read that book, Moneyball, but I had a Moneyball mindset. I think that's why I'm really consistent. And every now and then I'll have a bad day, like I had on Tuesday. That's gonna happen every couple of months. I'm due to have a bad day. Now, I don't really sweat that too much. Now, if I have a day like that every week, then there'd be a problem I need to address. But I'm focusing on base hits, and then I'm building off of that. So today was a pretty good day of base hits. Now, one of the requests that I get was that the trades that I took kind of go over what I saw on the daily chart in the morning. Because you guys know that's in the community, everything starts in the morning from the daily chart, analyzing the daily chart, identifying key levels around where the stock is trading. And I go back 52 weeks. Some people go back longer than that. All I care about is the previous 52 weeks. Now, I used to go back 5 years. Hell, I used to have a 10-year daily chart. But what I realized is 90% of the time, it was centered around the levels in the last 52 weeks. So why waste a whole lot of time? Let's just focus on what's important. And so I would go with the 52-week daily chart. And here you could see about 5 or 6 points from where it was trading this morning, we had the 52-week low, which I doubt if it would have made it there today. But if it started selling hard, I needed to know where this was because this would have been a potential bounce point. Then we had another level here at 63.04, and then another one right up here around 65.58, and the 67.46 up here. So we had pretty good windows, decent windows of opportunity, because what I'm looking for on base hits is I'm looking at getting in close to one level and taking it to the next level. Or if that level, if it's a pretty good distance, if it's home run distance apart, then I'm going to pick strategic points in between to take profit. And that's where my base hits are going to come from. So you can see on this daily chart, huge gap down on earnings. Just what we like to see, big gap, which puts it in play. And then I like to see windows of opportunity. We had a decent window up if we needed it, and we had decent windows down. So this was a pretty good look. Now, what bothered me was it opened slow. And it wasn't moving that much. And I did have other stocks on watch. I was watching ETSY, SIG, ACAD, and obviously Roku. So after watching the open, I didn't really like the way ETSY was trading, SIG, or anything. I said, okay, I'm going to trade this, and then we'll look at Roku after it settles in and it kind of makes a secondary move. But you could see, as far as daily charts go, this was a pretty good look. So here's how I traded it. Straight 5-minute opening range breakdown. All right, we got in. We did get some pullback. Here's a key example of making sure your volatility stop is wide enough that you won't get, slapped out of this. That's the main thing, making sure your volatility stop is far enough away. And I've showed you guys how to do that using the ATR on the 5-minute chart, or whatever minute chart you're trading off of. You're going to need to know what the average volatility is for each candle, and use that to place your volatility stop. Now that's going to be like your max loss stop. But you want to put it away from normal volatility, because they're not seeking your stop. They're just looking for orders. They don't know whether they're stop orders or just regular orders that are out there. But they're looking for volume, volatility, because they may have shares or orders that they need to fill. And they need to find people on the opposite side of that to get their orders filled. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But it kind of held here, 5-minute opening range low for a few. And then we got the big sell. And I got kind of nervous here. There was a ton of support sitting here at 64. It got close and it came down several times. And I spent like 7 or 8 minutes watching this. And I kind of got a little sketchy, so I was like, well, let me take some off here at 64.25, and I took some off there, and then it finally came down, and I had an order out at 63.75, so I got 2 cents positive slippage on this, and then the final target was that 63.04 level, but what you couldn't see was, I had to bring this up a little bit so you could see it, but this level was down at 63.04, and that was going to be my final target, but it didn't. We just got that quick dip, and then it got bought right back up and took me out at practically break even. This stock had anywhere from a 10 to 15 cent spread when I got in, which is why I only took 300 shares. I could have taken 500 on this one. It was a $60 stock, but I only took 300 shares because of the spread, the way the market was feeling today. I just wasn't feeling it, and you could see how bad the volume went away. After the first couple of candles, we started hurting for volume, so I had to size accordingly. But really nice. Even though I got 2 hits here, I'm considering this is a base hit, because my first target was at 60. So I took some 25 cents. 64. I took some 25 cents above it and 25 cents below it. So practically that's just a base hit. And so that was that. And I never really got a good feel for what was going on today. Now, like I said, the plan was, and this is what I laid out today, what my plan was, to trade this, and then, later on, 11, maybe after lunch, move on to Roku and try to catch that secondary move just like we did yesterday. But the volume was not there. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so today we made 188.84. That's where we ended up today. So what I'm looking at here is how bad the price action looked on Roku. And the volume. It was not as good as it was yesterday. And so I rarely trade this on an opening range trade, because you can see exactly what happened. Look at the range on this candle. Unimaginable range here. Let me see if I can figure out what it was, what the range on that first candle was. Oh, come on, baby. Do right by me. All right, so the range on that first candle, $2.76. The second candle was $2.46. So you're talking about, an average of $2.60 per candle here. But look at what happened to this one. It opened down here. It sold off a little bit, thinking that, hey, we may be getting a short. It sold under the 100. So I'm sure it baited some people in here. People that were playing off the body. And then this got bought right back up over the 5-minute open range high. So why wouldn't I trade this at that point? Number one, we got pre-market support right here. I know this isn't the high, but look at this support right in here. Not going to buy this. And you can see this was a clear fake. A clear fake breakout, and it ended up selling back off. Here's a 5-minute opening range low. And what I was telling you guys by now, what the plan was, watch it sell through the 200, give me a bounce, and then to reject this. And we get in on the rejection. So we got the sell off, the bounce. I mean, it didn't really react to the 20 here. This was a 20 from the daily chart. The body is all the way up here. We just wicked down, but that was it. So I can't say it rejected or it bounced off the 20, but I was expecting it to. But it kind of bounced up earlier, and here we were trying to reject the 200. But guys, you got to wait. You have got to wait. Here is what we look for, the rejection, and it to make a lower low relative to this candle. What kept me out was a 20 sitting here. All right, so there's no entry on this. And then we just kind of built back up. It got bought up. And we've all seen over the last couple of months, the 100 moving average, the 100 EMA on the 5-minute has been king. Nothing has been able to really penetrate it on a consistent basis. So I figured we would get a rejection here. Why couldn't I trade the rejection here? Look at all of this support that it has to trade through. So we get through the 200 again. I'm looking for the bounce and the rejection. Had we bounced and rejected the 200 and the 5-minute opening range low here, man, I'd have been all over this trade. I would have loaded up on this. But it didn't happen. You see it got bought all the way back up through the 100, through the 50. And then we pulled back, kind of bounced off the 200 again, rejected the 50 and the 100. And then we started coming back through. But again, the only way I'm going to take this is it to sell, give me a definitive bounce, and I'll be able to take it. But I kind of fell out of love with this price action so much that I just never traded it. Now, yeah, it would have been a very good trade, lucrative trade, if I had got it on this rejection here. Sold some at the 20, but then I'd have been stopped out at break even. And I'd have had to get back in later in the day. But I'm not really looking to take trades between 3 and 4 because that's when I have to pick my son up. So, I try to stay away from the market then. But Roku just did not give me any clean looks today. Yeah, I could have got in short and just held it. And just sat back and let it go. But it wasn't, I didn't feel good about it. And if I don't feel good about it, I just kind of stay away from it. So that's why I didn't trade Roku today. Even though it did make a really good move, it just wasn't clean, and it would not have been a very comfortable trade for me to be in. All right, so I did get in DLTR. We talked about this pre-market. I almost forgot about it, and I can't remember who brought up DG, and that made me remember that I looked this up. I saw this last night on the oversold scan, and I didn't scan. I'm sorry. When I looked at the DG chart, I looked at because it was reporting earnings today. I looked at DLTR, and I saw on the daily chart that we were setting up for oversold hook. I was like, man, this is beautiful. This is a nice candle, bottoming candle here. We did have a little bit of indecision yesterday, but if we open higher than the previous day's close, then we're going to nail it. Now, I was a little late getting in. I did let it slip my mind a bit, and I was a little late getting in. I was so concerned about DG and it selling off that it kind of took my focus off of getting in the swing. But you see, we almost got up to 92 before it pulled back in. My stop is, it can't be down here. I'm not going to let it go this far. Even though this is the proper stop for this type of trade, the market is just not comfortable for me right now. So, yeah, I'm going to strangle my trade. Now, I know I'm a big advocate about not putting in tight stops and not strangling your trade. But in swing trading, when the market starts to feel funny, the best thing to do is to get out. Get out all cash and come back and fight it again. So for me, I'm basing my stop on the low of this candle here versus the low of this candle. I don't want to give it that much room. The potential for us to get to 100 is there. But just have to wait and see. We'll see what happens tomorrow, where we open and all that good stuff. And I'm still hanging on to the SCRV. This is the one we got in a couple weeks ago right here. Same pattern, same setup. This is actually my favorite setup. It's just that we haven't seen a whole lot of these lately. But, this has been a good one here. We've had to live through a couple of pullbacks. But if you want to see the trade in all its glory on one chart, just go to my website. It's there. DOS just doesn't carry it from one day to the next. So that's the easiest way for me to put it out there so you can see exactly what the entries are. So right here would have been the first issue I thought this stop would have, and sure enough, it did. We hit this level, we pulled back a little bit, but then this day we ripped up and we ran into the 20 SMA. This is the 20 EMA, but we ran into the 20 SMA, and I kind of got a little nervous and took half off. I was trying to get the 38.50 for the rest of this, but for the first half, but it just kind of scared me out. Now I'm holding. I still got the second half on. I'm looking for it to get up to 40, just over 42. We are running into some resistance here. You can see it should just be token resistance, but it rejected here. We had to pull back through the 20 EMA, and now we're pushing back through it. And yeah, this is just what I look for on my 20 EMA cross strategy. However, I look for this strategy to be breaking new highs. But if we're in a oversold and we react to the 20 this way and we don't get taken out, definitely use this as the secondary strategy. So technically, I could have added to my position this morning and flip from the oversold to now we're trading the 20 EMA cross, but this is a secondary move on the oversold hook play. But I obviously could have done that. This gets a little bit deeper into your swing trading. You really need to be comfortable with the strategies before you start working it like this, but just wanted to point that example out to you. So, well, here it is. Here's this is the where I took profit on the 22nd, I believe. This is where I took profit, and we locked in $1,061 on it, and this is the entry right here. So this is the entry for it, and then we took half off here. This is where I got scared out. You can see this is the 20 EMA, this is the 20 SMA, and I kind of got spooked out on the SMA, but it shouldn't have because this thing just kept ripping. All right, so that's my trades for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening. Tomorrow I'm only trading up until like 11, and then I'm hitting the road for the weekend. So only doing a half a day tomorrow, which is probably smart because all I've been doing is kind of halfway giving back money. And today I was smart enough to just sit back and wait, and it never did really set up to trigger me in. And I wasn't chasing another stock. You know, I had what I had, and if it didn't produce, I'll come back to fight another day, and that's pretty much the way it ended. So we'll see if we can nail a nice one tomorrow. You know, get a double or triple out of it if we don't get a home run and close the week out. I may just be ending the week at the same spot I was in Monday afternoon. And I might be right back to where I was. So I probably should have not traded anymore this week and just let the week play itself out. But you guys have a great day, great night, great evening, and I'll see you in the morning.